Hey, what is up guys, I'm doing, and today I'm going to be talking about, are the Cleveland Cavaliers, do they have a chance to beat the Golden State Warriors? I'm pretty sure that's going to be the finals once again for a fourth straight year. I think that's going to be the finals matchup, Cleveland against Golden State. So I'm going to actually be talking about why, or if Cleveland can even beat Golden State Warriors. So without me rambling on too much, without further ado, let's get right into this video. So let's get right into last year's rosters and depth charts form and what they had. So last year the Cleveland Cavaliers had Kevin Love, who he underperformed in the finals last year. He didn't really show up that well. He just didn't do that well in the playoffs or in the finals in general this year. Then you had Kyrie, who didn't even speak to his teammates for 4 weeks into the playoffs, and he didn't even speak to LeBron when he demanded a trade from Cleveland. So he all around just did not want to be there, and he did not want to play for that team anymore. So that could have been a huge reason why Kyrie didn't play up to his full potential. Then you had LeBron, who he actually went off, and he had a triple-double, and he had Kevin Durant guarding him. A lot of people say LeBron didn't do that great. Well, LeBron had a triple-double, and that's extremely good. He averaged a triple-double in the finals. He pretty much carried his team to the 1-1 that they had. And yeah, and then they also had Tristan Thompson at center. He really didn't show up. The dude, he kind of he had a really good year the year before that, but then the very next year, he just, I don't know what happened. I think he just kind of got beat by Zaza, which was terrible. And then Amon Shumpert, who he took a huge step backwards. It wasn't even a step; it was a leap backwards, in my opinion. Because not last year, but the year before that, he was doing really good. He's shown tons of potential. But then out of nowhere, he just stopped being productive. He just wasn't that good the entire year. And that Cleveland roster went up against the Golden State Warrior roster that consists of a two-time MVP, one-time unanimous MVP, Steph Curry, who is one of the best jump shooters and scorers to ever live, and he will go down in the Hall of Fame, probably the best scorer to ever live in this game, and definitely the best shooter. And then you have one-time MVP and last year's Finals MVP, Kevin Durant, the third best player in this league, I think, behind LeBron and Westbrook. That's my opinion. And so yeah, you have the third and fourth best player in the entire league in Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. And then they also have last year's Defensive Player of the Year, Draymond Green, the Nutcracker. You already know who it is. So yeah, Draymond Green, pretty much their energy of the team. He brings the energy, he brings the defense. Doesn't do that good on scoring, but he's one of the most energized, and I think without him they wouldn't be as good. And then Klay Thompson, who has shown he's one of the best jump shooters in the entire league. He's won the three-point contest. He's came second in the three-point contest to Steph Curry, but he actually beat Steph Curry one year to win it all. And he's just one of the best jump shooters in the league, and he just helps with the scoring load. And then Zaza Pachulia, he's a decent center, I guess, but he's still below average. But he had a decent year being, no one really had to focus on him as they had to focus on Draymond Green, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson, so he was left open a lot of times, so that led to him scoring, and sometimes he'd even blow wide on the layup, so he's really a below average center, in my opinion. And then, now I'm going to get into what actually happened in last year's final series, Golden State against Cleveland. Golden State ended up winning in 5 games, 4-1, and they won the first 2 in very convincing fashion. It looked like it was going to be just a blowout series, a 4-0 sweep. But actually, Game 3s and 4 was extremely close. Game 3, every player came to play. Kyrie, Kevin Love, and LeBron, they were all going off. And they had actually lost it at the last minute. A lot of people are ridiculing LeBron for passing to Kyle Korver, hit that 3. Kyle Korver misses. They go down. Kevin Durant hits a 3 in LeBron's face. That was pretty much the end of the game of Game 3, and that would have made it a 1-2 series. But instead, they went down 3-0. But then they actually managed to win Game 4. But then the game after that, they actually lost. And actually, the bench, their bench for the Warriors was way better than Cleveland's last year. And Cleveland still almost managed to win 2 games that season. So they had a worse starting lineup, and they had a worse bench, and they never even got to rest LeBron, and they still almost won 2 games against that stacked Warriors team. But now the tables have sort of turned, because now this year's Cleveland roster will have, when the entire roster is healthy, they will have Isaiah Thomas at starting point guard, who has shown that he can go off in scoring. He almost averaged 30 points per game. Now, he's not as good as Kyrie, which they had to, they traded for, but, they also got Jay Crowder and the Brooklyn first-round pick, so obviously not as good as Kyrie, but probably a better scorer than Kyrie for sure. They also got Dwayne Wade, LeBron's old friend. They reunited. And Dwayne Wade, yeah, he's past his prime. He's only a shell of what he used to be. but he's still a great player, and he's going to be able to start. And that chemistry between LeBron and Dwayne Wade is already going to be there, and I really think Dwayne Wade is going to help a ton with that veteran experience needed. And then obviously LeBron at small forward, the best player in the entire league. He averaged a triple-double last year in the finals. He's a beast. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins MVP this year. Yeah, and then they have Kevin Love at center. He actually had to get moved down to center now because with the addition of Jerry Crowder and Isaiah Thomas and all of them. So he actually had to get moved down to center. So he's a pretty good shooter, Kevin Love. They said they're going to be running their offense through Kevin Love a lot more, meaning he's probably going to be a lot more productive this year. But he's already been very productive. For some reason, people are saying that 20 points per game, 12 rebounds per game, and 6 assists per game isn't productive. But I mean, that's beyond me. And then the newest addition that I think is going to help a ton, Jay Crowder. He's a great defender, a great offensive player. He's just pretty good all around. He's not an all-star, but he's a good addition. And yeah, but with them getting these new players, that actually pushes 2 of their starters from last year onto the bench. So they have 2 people that are starting from they were starting last year moved to the bench, and then they also brought in a player in Derrick Rose that was starting last year for the New York Knicks, and he's actually going to be pushed down to the bench as well. Not for the beginning of the season because Isaiah Thomas is going to be hurt, but when Isaiah Thomas comes back, he will be on the bench. So this will make their bench have Derrick Rose, who's an injury-prone point guard, but with the players that he's around, probably won't have to play that long of minutes, and he won't probably have to play all that hard. So I think Derrick Rose has a chance to really have a good season. J.R. Smith, he's shown to be a very streaky shooter. He can shoot very good, and he used to start for Cleveland, but not anymore because now he got moved down. Kyle Korver, he came off the bench last year. He's pretty good. He's just pretty much a shooter. He's kind of a liability on offense, on defense, but on offense, the dude's a beast. He can knock down a shot. He's one of the best shooters in the league, or when he was in his prime. Tristan Thompson, who was their starting center last year, he kind of went into a shell in the finals last year, but he actually is a really good center. He's pretty good. He was really productive 2 years ago. Then Amon Shumpert, he's coming off the bench as well. He started too. Amon Shumpert kind of took a step back. I don't think he's in his prime, but maybe with him being on the bench and not having to play all those minutes and be able to rest, maybe he'll have a more productive year than he had last year. You never know. And now this year's Golden State Warriors, pretty much the same exact starting lineup with Steph Curry, like I said, 2-time MVP, one of the best shooters. Klay Thompson, one of the best shooters in the league as of right now. Behind Steph Curry, all the other really, really good shooters. Kevin Durant, probably the second best small forward in the league behind LeBron. Zaza, another nutcracker, and the dynamic duos, Zaza and Draymond Green, the dirtiest players, kicking people in the nuts all the time. So you have them too. And their bench, they improved their bench a little bit. They still have Sean Livingston, but they added Nick Young. They're somehow able to keep Andre Iguodala, David West, and JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee actually had a breakout season last year, but that was probably just because he was playing with the Golden State Warriors, let's be honest. And now, let's actually going to get into what the next year's NBA Finals is going to look like. They're going to have Cleveland Cavaliers, which I actually think their bench is going to be better than Golden State Warriors, just because all their starters that are on the bench now. I think their bench is actually stronger than the Golden State Warriors. So they're actually going to have to take advantage of a ton when the Golden State Warriors starters are not in, and it's bench versus bench. Cleveland's bench is going to have to come out huge, and they still have Darren Williams and all of them on their bench too. So you can't forget about them. But then also another one is, Cleveland can also now afford to rest LeBron. Last year, with the second LeBron went out, even with Kyrie and Kevin Love in the game, they would start losing by so much they had to put LeBron in immediately. So LeBron ended up playing 40-something minutes a game. Well, now with how deep their bench is, Dwayne Wade and Derrick Rose and their Shumpert, Love, Isaiah Thomas, they're all going to be able to kind of pick up the slack that LeBron's going to leave when he gets taken out. And they only need to take him out for 5-6 minutes at a time, then put LeBron back in. The dude's a workhorse. He won't matter. He won't mind. But the biggest reason is something that they're losing at, and that is just their starting 5 in general. There is no way you can say Golden State Warriors starting 5 is worse than Cleveland's. Just think. You have Steph Curry, who's better than Isaiah Thomas. LeBron is better than Kevin Durant. Draymond Green is better than Kevin Love. Zaza is not better than Jay Crowder. But Klay Thompson is probably better than Dwayne Wade. Let's be honest. A lot of their starting lineup's a lot better. They have way more star power and everything. And I think their starters are just going to be enough, like they usually are, to win them another finals. But do I think Cleveland has no chance? No, I think Cleveland actually has a way better chance than they did last year. I think it will probably be a really close series. I think it will go to a Game 7 or a Game 6. I do think Cleveland has a fighter's chance, but I do not think they will win. I think there's a chance they will win. So guys, at any point in this video, I'm going to have to end it unfortunately, but at any point in this video, if you like the video, hit the like button. If you like the video or you disagreed with me in the video, comment below if you want more videos like this, or just like comment below like nice video, or I mean, if you didn't like the video, you could just leave. You don't have to hit the dislike button. You don't have to be mean about it. All right, man, you hurt my feelings. Not really. But kids, don't think I forgot about you either. Kids, remember, never do your vegetables, always do your drugs. Stay safe, race super. Goodbye.